We're live.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Works meeting this beautiful snowy Tuesday. Nina, would you please do the roll call?
Yes. Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Present.
Member Lewis,
Present.
Member Sanity,
Here.
Member Williams.
We have the approval of the October 27th minutes. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from October 27th.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Scott, seconded by Jamie. Is there any further discussion, any changes? If not, Nina, please call the roll.
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sanity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes.
We have the approval of the November 10th minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of November 20th meeting.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Steve and a second by Shauna for the November 10th minutes. Is there any discussion, any questions? If not, Nina, please call the roll.
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Simony,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes.
Under old business, we have the code violation appeal, which was tabled from October the 27th. Is there anyone to speak on the code violation? If not, I would ask that we remove this from the agenda until someone comes forward with that again.
I make a motion, we remove this from the agenda.
Move it.
I'll second that motion, Jamie.
We have a motion by Jamie and a second by Scott to remove the code violation appeal. Is there any discussion? Any questions? If not, Nina, please call the roll.
Sorry, who made the motion? I was,
I made the motion, Jamie.
And I second it, Scott.
I think Nina's frozen.
Yeah.
She's lagging a little bit. Hey, Nina, why don't you talk to us when when you think you're caught up and not lagging? Because I know that happens sometimes. Yeah, she's off.
yeah, she's probably trying to get back on. Let's pray that soon, maybe soon we'll get this situation in control. Give her a minute or two and hopefully she'll get back on. Scott, can you mute because you're screeching really bad? Thank you.
She's gonna try that at a council meeting, Scott.
Something in my body. Maybe it's that that metal piece in my knee. I don't.
Nina, are you with us now? I see you're still frozen. Maybe we should call her Elsa. She's frozen.
She doesn't look happy.
That was a poor joke. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
Maybe she'll have to get on the phone. I don't know what's happening. She usually doesn't get kicked off.
am I back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So we have a motion by Jamie, seconded by Scott to remove the code violation appeal from the agenda.
Okay. Can we call the roll?
Yes.
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Simony,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes.
Under new business, we have the COPAC versus City of Portage settlement. Dan?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this is a case that we inherited from before. It's actually something that occurred back in 2018. And it was mediated apparently last year and with a tentative settlement out of mediation. This is one of the few cases we have left with that political insurance group that we had about half a dozen cases with when we took over in January. And this case is one that it's got a little bit of outlay from the city. We haven't quite reached our deductible. It's a settlement of $37,500, of which about 18,000 is going to have to come out of the city's coffers. The rest is covered by that insurance. So I'm going to be looking for approval of the settlement by the Board of Works. And since there's going to be an outlay from the city, I'm going to also be taking this to the City Council for approval because it's an unfunded, unbudgeted item that we have to deal with. But I would recommend accepting this settlement. It seemed like a fair one, even when I went back and looked at the mediation notes. That's about it.
So we will need a motion and a second to approve the settlement agreement with COPAC versus the City of Portage, at which time it will go to the city council for their approval as well.
I make a motion that we accept the recommendation by our city attorney that we, at least from the Board of Works point of view, that we settle this and accept the settlement, and it will be forwarded on to the city council. I'm assuming it'll be on our December 1st agenda for final approval and funding.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Scott and a second by Jamie. Is there any discussion?
So Nina, just for kind of your record, I believe that if my numbers are correct, it's going to be about 18,211 from the city. So that's the funds that we're going to have. That's the, still what's left in our deductible. That's what I'll be asking the council to approve, 18,000.
And I would ask Nina to make sure that gets on the agenda, please, for December 1.
I think she's frozen again.
I'll make a note.
You
And while we're waiting for her, I think we're down to about, like I said, I think we're down to one case that's still under that insurance pool that we're in for a short time. All of those cases, we've either won them. I've knocked 2 of them out of the box with dismissals this year, but we're down to 1 left. And that, again, that's, I think that one we've already expended our $20,000 deductible. So this is, I think this is the only one left that I think could have any potential from the city funds because we haven't reached our deductible.
Thank you, Dan,
Dan, I
for all
have a
your
question.
hard work on that. Nina, we have a
Dan, I
motion
have-
by Scott. Oh, Steve, go ahead.
I just need some explanation. I read all that, the release statement and everything, but was this an accident or something? I don't know anything about it because it seemed like it was in Hobart.
So here's the thing, Steve, I won't go too far into the weeds, but just to let you know, kind of the 100-mile high view, it was a police pursuit that our officer was involved in. It ended up in Lake County, and one of the assisting officers from Lake County ran in front of our police dog, and our police dog bit him. So that's
Okay.
why it happened over there, the actual bite, but the pursuit was initiated here that we were involved in.
All right, that's all I needed to know.
Yep, good questions.
If there are no further questions, Nina, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonnerty,
Yeah.
Member Williams.
Yes.
We have an MOU for an AHA change from Methodist to St. Mary's. That was a request by the fire department, I believe. Nina, do you have any information on that? I don't see anything.
I was forward, no, I never had a copy of the MOU. Dan had CC'd me on an email from Randy asking Dan to look over the MOU. Dan can speak to, he said he didn't have any legal issues with the MOU. It was just changing the sponsor for the EMS, for our EMS services from Methodist to St. Mary's, to my understanding. I'm
That's
not sure
correct.
Randy's on.
That's correct, Nina. Thank you. I did review it, and it's exactly right. I was kind of surprised we were with Methodist, actually.
Yeah.
So it seemed like a logical move. It's what the fire department wanted anyway. So from a legal standpoint, it seemed okay.
Is Chief Wilkening on the call? No, I don't think
I
so.
thought he was going to be.
Okay. Chief, do you have
Yeah,
any
I'm here.
comments
Can
on
you hear
that?
me?
Yes. Do you have any comments on that, Chief?
Yes, it was based. Yeah, it's what it's for is through American Heart Association, you have to have a sponsorship. We do advanced cardiac life support and PALS and things like that. And we have to have a sponsor in order to get cards and certification through a hospital. So We were with Methodist, and what we're asking now is just to go through St. Mary's.
Okay. We have a motion to approve.
I make a motion that we accept the MOU request from the Portage Fire Department to change our sponsor for American Heart Association from Methodist to St. Mary's.
I'll second that.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Scott, and I think Jamie beat you to it, Steve. Nina, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes.
We have the MNS agreement. And Nina, what is that?
It's for proven, right?
Is that
Yeah,
what
this
it is?
Okay.
The agreement that.
We're getting too much feedback, guys. We can't even hear. Thank you.
This agreement was for managed network support from Proven. Once we have to start getting things in place for when our contract with the DAR expires, March 1st. We've been talking about this for a long time, that we have to do something quickly, I mean, to get something in place to move forward. But
All right, so I'd like to comment if I may, Mayor.
I think we need a motion and a second, and then we will comment. So I'll need a motion to approve, and then a second.
I'll make a
I'll make a
motion we
motion to
approve it.
approve the MSF agreement, but I can only make that motion with some contingencies.
Okay, we have a motion by Jamie, and Scott, are you seconding?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, so now we will move into discussion, Scott.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor. The biggest thing I'm concerned about is the Exhibit B that you'll see towards the back of the agreement. Exhibit B has added having a 40-hour-a-week individual on site that is housed at the police department, that is similar to what we have right now with the ADAR contract. In principle, I understand the importance of, particularly when you're moving in with a new vendor, of having someone on site. And this particular Exhibit B is requesting that we do that for 6 months. My issue with that is the funding. We've been extremely transparent in the past in terms of only approving conditions that are fully funded. And in this case, because the 2021 budget has been approved by the city council, and it did not include dollars for a full-time person for any length of time, which amounts to almost $28,000, I could support this contract with the condition that the city council approve the additional appropriation, that it be included in the 2021 budget, and the council then would work with the clerk treasurer to determine the best course of action and path to fund the 6 months person on site. I also know that our attorney has some concerns about this particular agreement that I'm sure he will share. And so I understand the sense of urgency here. We've been in lengthy discussions on selecting our new IT vendor. I'm not opposed to moving forward, but I believe there are some conditions that I just mentioned that need to be considered. So I defer to our attorney at this point, if I may, Madam Mayor, to talk about some of the concerns that our legal law department may have with this particular agreement.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Would you mute your mic then, please? Dan?
Thank you, Mayor. So, yeah, I just had a few that in my initial review of this, I sent over to Proven. They're not earth shattering, but things like, it's their standard contract that all disputes be handled under the laws of Illinois, and we're not doing that. So I've asked them to change that to Indiana. That shouldn't be a big thing. They probably do, most of their business probably in Illinois, so that's probably their standard language, but we need it to be Indiana jurisdiction and laws. One of the other things, again, not huge, but they have an auto renewal clause in there, and that needs to come out because those aren't great for us, in my opinion. So I've already sent that over, and I'm sure they'll be fine with it because I've mentioned to them in the past that we shouldn't have auto renewal clauses, and they're always all right with that. So I don't see that being a deal breaker. And then the third thing, I wanted a little clarification, and I understand why they put it in there, and it doesn't really make a difference if it's a private customer, where they reserve the right to enter into agreements with third parties for purposes of being able to provide the services that they're contracting. And I think those types of agreements need to be approved by the Board of Works. So I'm going to ask that they put that in there, that those kinds of things need to be subject to our approval or your approval, just because I think that statutorily it should be. Those are really my initial concerns. I think the city council can figure out the funding part of it. And it's a 63-month contract that starts December 1st, it looks like. So that's probably to cover the overlaps. We probably, from the council's perspective, probably needs to figure out, there's going to be a few months of we still have a DAR, and then we have them, and how that's going to be funded out. So it's probably not a bad idea for the city council to take a view at the funding of this anyway. And just so everybody knows, I did, at the behest of the administration, notify ADAR that we would not be, or that the city would not be renewing their contract upon expiration. So they know that, and have told them that they need to be cooperating in the transition to the new provider. So all that's been handled. So really, and I've already, like I said, I've already sent those concerns to Proven. I don't expect those to be earth shattering, but those are just some things that I think need to change.
So then I guess I have a question for Nina. In essence, December, January, and February, we will be paying, and I know that Proven's bill is deferred, but we will still be charged for those 3 months by both IT companies. Am I correct?
Correct. Proven has offered to tack on those 3 months to the end of the contract, to just extend it out 3 months with payments in order to try to help facilitate, because they know that we can't afford to pay both providers during the transition. I know I can speak to my office and Field Forces. We had approved the M&S contract back in March, but our current provider just hasn't cooperated. So with providing the credentials needed to move things along. So we're just getting close to having our backs against the wall here.
And just to let the Board of Works know, Dan and I have been working on that. We haven't been as successful as we like, but we continue to work on that. So if there is no further discussion, we have a motion by Jamie and a second by Scott to move forward with the M&S agreement with the contingencies that Scott spoke of and Dan.
I do have one question, just so that the overall public knows. Nina, maybe if you have these numbers at your fingertips, what's the overall cost savings as we're moving from Adair to Proven over a period of time? I think that would be worth noting and sharing as well.
So we won't know the true figure. This is taken into consideration the most it's going to cost, because they've not been provided with certain credentials right now. we can only take that cost, judging from the network assessment that we did earlier this year with the amount of users and, you know, who needs what type of support. Like, so even with like Microsoft 365, say, do they just need an email, or do they need like a full suite, you know, of 365 with all of the applications? So this is the most it would cost. So if you take that into consideration, right now we're paying, if you include utilities, about $32,000 a month for our current provider. So it's a few $1,000s cheaper, at least a month. But you get what you pay for too. We're paying a handsome amount monthly for some really crappy services, right? So that's something to note too.
Yeah, that's worth being said out loud, that, you know, we need to know what we're paying for, and that there is a cost savings here too for our constituents. So thank you for stating that as well. Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Well, and I
There's a
just want to
cost-
say too, that anytime we make these changes, like we did with the copiers, like we are doing with the telephones, every one of these changes has realized a cost savings for the city and the taxpayers. So while we don't have an exact figure, we do know, and maybe in the end, we'll be able to provide those numbers, but we do know that every time we do this, there is a fairly substantial cost savings. And like Nina said, our equipment is, we're operating on a Windows 2007 system, which is a non-supported system. And that's part of the problem that we have with this freezing up and everything else. So it's also getting a better service for the city.
And then one more question about Exhibit B is related to what Mr. Williams was just talking about. Do you think that we would need any additional support beyond that 6 months for the police department at all? Or this is just an assessment as well?
So if I could speak to that for a second. So the idea here was that the police department currently has someone sitting in there, you know, that works for the current provider. They wanted to have sort of a period of time to sort of test the water and reassess whether we need that person or whether they need that person, you know, long term. So the 6 month was, we have somebody in there, we see how things go, and then at the 6 month phase, we can reevaluate again with the police department to see if we still need that person or can, you know, move away from that part of the agreement.
Thank you, Attorney Whitten.
You're welcome. So, Madam Chairman, if I could make a recommendation, the motion made that's on the floor did not contain the contingencies that Scott later addressed. So I would suggest and ask that the movant amend his motion to include those contingencies, both the city council approval for funding and my review.
I'll amend my, I'll amend it to include the contingency for Scott to take it before the city council and to include the contingencies that Attorney Whitten has voiced on Exhibit B.
Scott,
I'll
do you
second.
second those amendments?
Yes, I second those, that amended motion that Jamie just stated.
Okay.
Very good.
Is there any further discussion on the M&S agreement? If not, Nina, please call the roll.
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Thank you, everyone. We have the bulk item appeal request. Is Superintendent Reeder online?
Yes, Madam Mayor and board members, we have no appeals right now to bring before the board.
Well, that's good. Thank you.
Good job.
We have the claims. Did everybody get a chance to look at the claims? If so, were there any questions?
No.
Yes.
Steve, you had questions? We'll need a motion and
No.
a second, and then we'll entertain questions.
Oh, okay, that wasn't me.
Okay.
I had no question.
I do have a question, but I'll wait till
So we'll need a motion and a second first, and then we'll entertain
I
questions.
make a motion to accept the claim of November 24th meeting.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Stephen, a second by Jamie. Are there any questions?
I have a question. There's a item to Baker Tilly,
Mhm.
US LLP. It says Gateway Budget Services, but it's listed under City Hall Equipment Repairs.
Yes, it's a professional services line item. Why it's called equipment repairs. It's an allowable expense out of that appropriation. And that's where
Okay.
we have some money.
And
Okay.
Jamie, just to let you know that we brought on Baker Tilly at the beginning of the year to
Right.
help us work through some of these financial messes that we're in. We recently had a very good successful meeting with them on the GO bond and our approval of the GO bond. And they were absolutely phenomenal. So I think that was a very good decision on our part. They have uncovered a lot of mistakes and have been working with Nina with that. And so I feel that that was well worth our money and
Okay.
the time we have spent working with them through these Zoom meetings and getting through that process, because we are through the GO bond process now, and that has been approved.
Yeah. My question was really more just the appropriation category.
Okay.
It seems like that's I hate to call it a catch-all, but it
Right.
just seems like there's
right.
a few things that go through there. I just wondered if we need to have an appropriation
It needs
for
to be
things
renamed.
like Baker Tilly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm
Otherwise,
glad
I'm-
you brought it
Professional
up.
services.
I'm glad you brought it up, Jamie. We are being very
Okay.
transparent. So anytime the board has questions, I appreciate the fact that you ask them.
I appreciate it.
And
So
Jamie
we-
and I, we're kindred spirits because I was thinking about something else, but different. And it's called gift. So we have a line appropriation called gift. So this is probably to Nina as well, like gift, fire MES, gift, lighting. Just what is that specifically? Because I guess because of the holidays are coming, that's new.
Right. We have several gift funds for the various departments within the city. There's a gift fund for 4th of July. That's where, the city will solicit donations to provide the fireworks. It's a way for us to spend donations by the community without actually having an appropriation, because it's a gift fund.
So the
It just
gift
has to
funds
be
aren't,
each.
I'm sorry, the gift funds aren't appropriated money, they're just donated money?
Correct. They're not city dollars. They, but they have a specific give to them. So it's making sure that they're, spent the way they're supposed to be.
Okay. So
The
we don't
intent that
count
they
for that.
give. Right.
Shauna, did you have more questions?
No, that was it. It was just the gift because I just saw a few things come through and I said, oh, okay, there's my kindred spirit, Jamie, over there. So thank you, Jamie, for queuing me up.
I'm sorry.
So just like each grant has its own appropriation too. And actually we have to transition away from that, and they actually need to each have their own fund. So.
Are there
So that'll
any
be coming.
more questions about the claims? If not, Nina, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
We have the major illness claims. I see there were 5. Dan, have you seen them?
I have, Madam Mayor, and I've signed off on the 5, so I would recommend approval by the Board of Works.
We will need a motion to approve the major illness claims.
I make a motion to approve the major illness claims per Dan's oversight of them.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Steve and a second by Shauna for the major illness claims. Nina, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes.
Is there any other business to come before the board at this time? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make
Make a motion, we
to
adjourn?
We have joint motions by Jamie and Steve to adjourn. Nina, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Lynch,
Yes.
Member Finley,
Yes.
Member Lewis,
Yes.
Member Sonity,
Yes.
Member Williams.
Yes.
I just would like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. We're still in the red zone here in the county and in the state. I hope all of you will take every precaution necessary to keep you and your family safe during this holiday. And keep your distance, wear your mask if you feel you must get together. Do everything you can so that we can get us out of this red zone and into a better way with our COVID numbers. So thank you all and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Same to you.
You
Thank
too, man.
you. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.